Hello, I'm Annika, clinical psychologist. We're busy with a session with Errol Musk. Welcome for Dad of the Genius. So there's a request on the channel Dad of Genius of somebody that said, after the yacht video, I think she commented that she would really like to know what kind of woman you'd like. She asked whether you're single.
Yes.
So if you would look at the women, what kind of women would you be interested in?
Well, it's a difficult one. I mean, Maye was a big anchor for me. I spoke of Gedinka, who was so wonderful, but Maye was the right choice for me, in terms of the deep down biological need or whatever it is. And then it took me another 10 years after a couple of hundred girls that I dated to find the second girl who was the same as, who had what Maye had, and that was Heide. And she was the same as Maye. They were like identical. And they were often together at parties afterwards, In America, Maye and Heide would be together. It was as smooth as silk. There was no problems at all. They were like identical. They could have been sisters. or better than sisters, They just had no problem with each other. And so, so it takes a long time to find somebody who, it seems to me, that sort of works right for you.
Maybe you can tell about the quality in Heide that you like so much. You told me about
the spark.
Yes, you many times said it's the spark in Heide.
Yeah.
And then you told me about an incident where she was walking, or you were walking someplace, I think it was overseas.
Yeah.
And then there was a very beautiful...
Oh, yeah. No. We were in Portugal, in Lisbon, and we were told to go to this chicken restaurant. And Heide was an exceptionally good-looking girl. Face for the screen, for the big screen. Yeah, she looked like she was like a blonde version of Elizabeth Taylor. But at any rate, so we went into this. She's a South African Dutch woman. Eh? These are not your little run for their mommies types, if you understand what I mean. And so we walked into this restaurant in Lisbon. And Heide was in front, and Kimball was there, and I was there, and who else I can't remember. Anyway, so as we walked into this very well-lit restaurant, which was, we were told you must go to, there was this very beautiful, I suppose, Portuguese lady sitting there, long, straight black hair, porcelain skin, and these big blue eyes. And I got a surprise when I saw her, and I looked at her, and she actually looked at me, and I walked past her, sort of looking at her, and then bumped into Heide, who had stopped in front of me, and then Heide was standing there with her, her arms on her side like that, and saying, "If you want her, go and get her."
In front of everybody.
In front of everybody, in Afrikaans, in Dutch.
Yeah.
I said, "Well, hey, gaan vat haar."
Yeah.
Do you understand?
So a lot of
and me, like with glazed eyes, trying to find my way to the table, and to get our table and like hide under the table,
Yeah.
But of course, it was Portuguese, but everyone knew what she was saying, and so that was the kind of woman that you want in your life. You want a woman like that,
So you want somebody with guts.
Well, you want somebody like that.
Yeah.
You want her, go and get her. You definitely want somebody like that.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to find. So it's difficult to find the right person, and I think the younger you are, the easier. I think when you get older, it's not so easy, and I don't know. So it's the age-old question. It's not new, it's 1,000 years old.
What do you think of different generations, pairing people as a couple with different generations? Somebody 20 years younger than you, 30 years younger than you.
Yeah, that's a good question. Heide is 20 years younger than me. So for me to marry, I was like just on 45 and I married her when she was 25. So when you marry a girl and you have such a generational gap, I would say to anybody, you have to accept the fact that, and I knew it even then, that the time's going to come when she's still going to be a beautiful woman in her 30s, late 30s, but still looks like she's in her 20s. and you're going to be a 60-year-old guy. So you are looking for trouble. You're not looking. You know, there's people's biological cravings and innate sexual hungers, and you know, all those sort of things. They're working all the time, and so if you're going to marry somebody out of your generation, you can expect a problem. You must expect a problem. I mean, you know, you hear of a guy of 80 marrying a woman of 25, something, you know, and it's great. He's a multi-billionaire or something. But I mean, you know, the divorce. I mean, the marriage was last week. So you want to say, well, when's the divorce? Next year, or you know, because obviously it's going to wind up as a divorce.
So it's very attractive, but the risk is high.
Yeah, if you marry outside your generation, it's a very big, it's a serious problem. You know, not to say that it's always like that, but mostly I'd say you can expect that kind of problem. But then again, even if you marry somebody these days, I mean, I read 70% of marriages break up. So I mean, which is very, very, in the Western world anyway, very bad. So horrible situation which should never have occurred.
You know,
and the thing is, but so it shows you that even if you are more or less right at the same age, people are, you know, inundated with, the women are inundated with magazines telling them that this is how you should be living, and do you know about the 50 ways of having sex, and this is, you know, I mean, this is the rubbish that's being fed to women, and women are reading this stuff, and they're saying, you know, look at this guy I've got, he's an electrician, or he's a plumber, or maybe he's a dentist or something, you know, he's boring, you know, I look, I could go and get so-and-so, and then they go for divorce. I mean, it's insane.
What do you think, what makes a relationship work?
Well, you know, again, it's a biological thing. I mean, the purpose of a relationship is to have children, you know. So, I mean, if you marry outside a woman's childbearing age, if the woman is, look, from 35, a woman can't easily have children. So, that is the cutoff. After that, it's many tests needed. But let's assume that the age that a woman can have children up to is maybe 42, 43 or something, I don't know. So after that, you know, you're marrying, I suppose, for the interests, common interests and things like that. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just hard to find somebody that would, you know, sort of totally have the same interests as you. And I think you have to be a lot more forgiving in such a marriage than what you would have done if you married biologically when you were 25 and the girl is 23, or both 25, because then you could scream your heads off at each other and still love each other. But once you marry later on, you have to behave with each other.
So when you are 76, what will make you happy?
Well, I wouldn't mind winning the lottery. That'd be funny. That'd be nice.
In relationships, Errol.
Oh, in relationships. I don't know. I must say I've seen a few very pretty 20-year-old girls lately. No, I don't know. I don't think about it, to be honest with you.
Errol, what do you think?
Well, what makes me happy right now is I've got an aeroplane that I want to go and fetch that I bought 3 months ago. Okay. And I want to go and fetch it. And what would make me very happy is to find the time to go and fetch it. It's just a couple hundred miles away. And I need to go and fetch it, which is quite a problem because it's driving there, leaving my car there, flying back, then driving back with somebody else to get my car, and you know, and so on and so forth. But
it's a practical
that would
solution.
make me happy. So that's much more. That would make me much more happy than a relationship.
To solve your daily.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's for the women on the yacht comments. Thank you for answering that.